Good morning. Na karibu sana kwenye show if you are just joining us. Now, we all have bad financial habits. I've already said that. And we normalize borrowing to survive. Tabia mbaya sana. And we also live beyond our means. And we live on mobile loans. So today we're talking about money habits we're talking about money habits that many of us think are normal, but are actually keeping us broke. In studio, we have Iddi Ganguma. He's a banker. Iddi, good morning.
Morning, Miriam.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Welcome to the show.
Sante sana. From
your experience, what do you think is the most common bad financial habits that we have normalized? Like, we don't even realize it's a problem.
There are quite a number of them.
Yeah.
But what you've said is among the top on that list.
Yes.
Living above our means. Living above our means. Our expenditures many times are way more than the income that we make.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me that will be top of the list. But there are some that are more serious than that.
Yeah.
And I hope in the next 1 hour we're going to get into several of those.
Definitely. What does it look like when somebody lives beyond their means?
What it looks like is there's something we usually say in Kiswahili, those of us who are salary earners, unaambiwa mishahara yako haishikani. You know what that means? Before your next paycheck, what you earned last month imeisha tayari. So you have a gap of like 3 to 4 days when you don't know how you're going to survive. Umefika mwisho kabisa, so maybe you borrow a loan here and there. So yeah, that's really terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and ukisema mishahara haishikani, at times the income is actually low.
That's true.
It's not sustainable.
That's true.
Right? And so for somebody who's thinking, I really want to live within my means, but ipesa haitoshe, what do they do?
All right, so I'll ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever heard somebody say, mshahara unatosha?
No.
You see, nobody ever wakes up in the morning and says, ule mshahara na mimi niko sawa.
So then what do I do with my income to ensure that I'm able to get to the end of the month without going to borrow from, a loan, how do you call it, a Shylock or from the bank? Yeah.
So we're going to dive right into it.
Yes.
And that's one of the points that I wanted us to talk about.
Okay.
And the big word for today. Last time, remember, Salim likwambia words for the day were discipline and planning. Leo, the word for the day is budget.
Budget.
Okay. I don't want to go into statistics like somebody 90%, 95% because I haven't done the math. Lakini najua a great majority of us go through our lives without a budget. I don't want to confront you directly, lakini nikiwaangalia hapa pia nyinyi wenzangu. I don't know if there's a budget somewhere kwa computer, on a book somewhere.
There's a budget.
There is a budget.
We just go beyond it at times.
Budget kwenye ifuatwi. If it's there, more power to you.
Yeah.
But so many people go through their months, through their salaries without a budget. Ukiuliza mtu your main expenses, can you break them down for me to the finest detail? Mtu hajui. Mtu anajua tu I pay rent. Ukimuuliza mtu how much money do you pay for food in a month? Mtu hajui. How much money do you spend on airtime per month? Unless wale wako on the postpaid, those ones will know, but wale wako kununua credit hapa na pale, they don't know. So the moment you do not have a budget, then you don't control your money anymore. Your money controls you. Because if you have a budget, then you know exactly where your money goes to na unaifanyia nini. Okay? If you've decided you're going to on a night out, some people go on nights out without a budget. Mtu ameenda tu, whatever money is there, mimi nitafika, I'll buy drinks, I'll buy food, nitanunulia mabeste. Maybe I could afford to spend 3,000. I've ended up spending 7,000. But kwa vile pesa ziko kwa account somewhere,
I can still use it.
Exactly. All right. So budgeting is very, very important. There are courses out there on budgeting. Mtu anapigwa a whole week's course on budgeting. And budgeting is not something you wake up asubuhi unasema let me draw the budget that I will work with for the rest of the year. Budget has I'd say two stages. Stage ya kwanza is the research stage. Okay? Hiyo inaanza vipi? Start by recording every single transaction ambayo where your money goes to. Okay? Ukiamka asubuhi, you're driving your car, how much money do you spend on fuel? Unachukua matatu, how much does it cost you from the from home kuja ofisini, from the office back home? You're going for lunch, how much money are you spending on lunch? How much money are you spending on breakfast? Umeona you have nephews and nieces, or you have kids over the weekend, unawapeleka mahali, how much is it? You have to record all that for a period of about 3 months.
So are we doing this daily?
You have to do it daily.
Okay.
That is going to be the hardest part.
For 90 days.
For 90 days.
And so then do we tabulate it at the end of the month?
Please do.
Okay.
Because that's the only way you're going to keep track of it.
So let's say I've not bought anything today. So I know definitely I'll spend money on lunch today.
Yeah. How much money will you spend on lunch? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say, why are you looking at me that way? I'm going to say...
Wait. I'm waiting.
Yes. Pretty much, there's a... Yes, roughly 250 to 70. Okay. Yes. Right?
That's good.
That's reasonable for lunch.
lunch.
Yes. Why are you laughing? So if I were to have that and then say on my way home, my transport, right? So let's say I tabulate all that. And if I were to, let's say I missed something at home, maybe I get a call from home and I'm told we've run out of this, we've run out of water, we've run out of this, and I go and pick that. Do I also include that?
Please do.
So that I may know pesa yangu inaenda wapi.
Yes.
Yikes.
Because another, budgets are boring by the way. Stock of feature Salim.
Yeah.
Budgets are very, very boring. But they
boring.
keep you in track. They keep you online. They keep you disciplined.
And when I buy airtime, I should include that as well.
When you buy njugu 20 bob,
yes,
include that as well. For 3 months, do it dutifully for 3 months so that you know where your money goes to. Because let me tell you, unajua kitu nyingine, pesa zetu zinaenda and we don't know because we don't keep track of it. Nini ile tulikuwa tunaongea last time. I don't want to call it black tax, lakini vitu kama hivyo.
Yeah.
All right, you get a call from home today. So and so hasn't been able to go to school, because that's the big issue now.
It is.
Yule kazini yako unamkumbuka, yule mtoto anani, yule mlikuwa mkicheza naye hapa, basi ameitwa, lakini sasa utatusaidia vipi? How much do I have? School is important, send 2k. All right, 3 days from now, so and so
there's another call.
Mchango to go to India because the health is not very good. Somebody you grew up with, bro, basi nakualika shughuli, mwaka ni huu mwezi wa 6 pale, kwa hivyo tuanza mipango size na kuadd kwa group. Right, and you know what that means.
Yes.
There's the initial, the big amount that you'll send. Alafu kila baada 3-4 days kuna challenge. Nini challenge 200. So. Okay. If you don't keep track, because these are things that are happening every day.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where your money is going to. So if you don't account for that, your money, ndio nasema your money is going to direct you. Ushaona? Because sasa unafaa ujiwekee limit ya kuwa for charity, for helping purposes, kwa mwezi I can only do so much.
Okay. So Iddi, let's say now I'm keeping track and I'm doing my I'm recording all this every single day. By the end of the month, I'm able to see this is where my money is going to, right? And I'm doing it for 3 months. Yeah. Now, what measures do I put in place to ensure that I cover these holes, okay? And I cover these holes so that I may not spend beyond my means. After tracking it, what else? What next?
So now, after the 3 months, you'll have a clear picture of where your money is going to, okay? And once you've tabulated it, you've listed it in detail, you know the things that are important and the things that are not important that are taking up your money, okay? Previously, you could go out every weekend and you never used to feel it. Although you ile kwenda out every weekend, that's the reason you're paid on 30th, it's 22nd, you're thinking, hapa kutakuwa na shida kidogo. Okay? Because I look at my account balance, I'm not sure it's going to sustain me for the next 7 days. Back to that topic of helping. Unangalia, okay, I really feel bad for these people. I really want to kuchangia mahospitali and school fees and people's weddings and all these things, but I can only do so much. Umeona? So unajiwekea ile limit, unasema every month if there is mchango that I have to, this is the most I can do. So whoever comes after nishapitisha that X amount that I had told myself, nitamwambia maze bro, sorry lakini umwezi ni kubaya. Okay. There's a song I had, not a song, or there's something in Tanzania they say, when somebody tells you they don't have money, it's not that they don't have money literally. Okay. Ni ile kuwa pesa ninazo lakini
siza kukupa.
Yeah, it's not for that. Umeona, okay? Yeah. Your friends call you out, you want to go out. I mean, you've had a rough week. It's the weekend. Nataka ku relax, you go somewhere, listen to good music, eat nice food, buy your drinks. But you look at your budget, you're saying, you know what? My entertainment budget for the month nilipitisha last week. So right now, I'm just going to stay indoors, taangalia TV, tasoma kitabu, I'll go for a walk. I'm going to make it a sacrifice.
Umeenda mbali na mfano eti Tanzania na huyu hapa ni mfano hai.
Which mfano hai?
Wewe si uendagi wewe.
Kwenda wapi?
Wewe upitishagi.
Kupita nini?
Hiyo nini? Ili entertainment yangu imeisha. I am not going. I am staying at my house. Si ujiseme. Wewe amepiga mfano wa Tanzania huko.
I was just chilling.
I think we should switch seats. Wewe hapa tukuulize because you're ticking all the boxes.
Wachana na ubebe. Hebu sema shida zako za hela.
Mimi niko na shida venye naongea. I have a bombshell shidas. Ni nyingi. Sasa vile Miriam Iddi, vile Miriam ameuliza kwamba umerekodi, umenakili hizo. Alafu sasa umekuja umeshajua kwamba mimi hela zangu zinatumika hapa na hapa na hapa na hapa. Hela nyingi zinaenda hivi, mambo hayo mengine kuna yale mambo ya msingi. Now ukishajua mambo ya msingi, unafanya nini sasa kuijua bajeti yako timilifu? Ile kwamba hii ndio nitafanya nayo kazi. So ushafanya research. So what do you do baada ya hiyo research yako?
Okay, sijui kama nimekuelewa vizuri, but ukishafanya ile research, umejua. Ndio pale sasa nasema at the end of the day sisi ni watu wazima. Umeona So there are those personal controls ambazo utajiwekea. Kama sasa hiyo nimesema, wewe kitambo ilikuwa kila ukiguso Salimu harusi ushatuma. Salimu basi shangazi India ushatuma. Basi yule ndugu yako basi amelazwa umetuma. Inafika point sasa inabidi useme nini? Kwa sababu uwezo wangu ni kiasi fulani. Professor J alisemaje? Kila mbuzi ale kwa urefu wa
kamba yake.
Okay?
Leo natupandonga. Tupiga na hip hop.
Sasa because you don't have a budget, wewe unafikiria uwezo wako bwana, because una roho nzuri. Ndio, it's a good thing unapenda kusaidia, okay? Na wewe bwana uko ofisini, you're earning a salary. Wale ambao wanakupigia wasaidie, unajua hali zao. Maybe you've grown up in those conditions, so why not? You knew back then how much 1,000 ilikuwa ikikufanyia wewe when you're coming from a place of nothing. So saizi you're very very quick, 1,000 tuma, 2,000 tuma. But pia budget, let's not just look it from that negative angle ya kuwa tunajua what to reduce. There are instances where budget yako might tell you, hey, you know what boss, I can actually do better.
Oh, I like
exactly.
that.
Yeah. What do I mean? Wewe ulijua mimi ile nyumba ambayo naweza kuishi rent ni this much. You've been living in that house for the past 5 years. Maybe over those 5 years kazini umepandishwa cheo, you're earning a bigger salary. Umeona you have a side hustle pengine that's bringing you a little money. Wazaka ukaangalia wakasema okay, looks like because some of us are so disciplined tunabania pesa sana but once you have a budget you can look like, hey, you know what, I can afford a better house in a safer neighborhood, karibu na kazini, you know, vitu kama hivyo. Hawa watoto nimekuwa nikiwapeleka hii shule hapa, but looking at my budget, I think I can afford to take them. Umeona yeah, so budget, let's not just look at a budget from the angle ya kuwa sasa nitajinyima nini. No, sometimes it helps lakini ningeomba we're focusing too much on the budget na mambo ni mengi.
Yeah, because you see some people also say that some people feel like budgeting can restrict them. Anyway, that aside, we've talked about now living beyond one's means. What's the other bad financial habit that we have?
the other really bad financial habit we have is increased income translates to increased expenditure. Okay, that's the example we were talking with Salim last time. Unaingia nyumbani, TV unaiona inafanya nini?
Inakuwa ndogo.
Every day you come into unasema mwishoe unasema mwishoe hao watu pale kwa TV nitakuwa siwaoni pale kabisa. Okay, and that's an example my father used to tell me all the time nikiwa na grow up. Anasema the moment you've signed that new deal, you're earning X, now you're earning 2X. And I bet the moment you enter into your house that evening, you'll wonder how you've lived in that house. Sema nimekuwa nikitoshaje kwa hii nyumba, this house is so small. Umeona?
Yes.
Exactly. You wake up the next day to go to work, umevaa unajiangalia kwa kioo like, oh my god, hizi nguo watu wananisemaje huko? Some clothes you've been wearing for the past year or 2 years, okay, comfortable, nobody say, but because now you're earning more, you're wondering, hey, I need to
upgrade.
Okay, yeah. Every weekend you're okay sitting at home watching your Netflix. Right now you're thinking, kwani hii DSTV? Kwani mimi, you know. Exactly, okay? So the moment you earn that bigger salary, you want to move houses, you want to subscribe to DSTV Premium, okay? Your holidays, you want to go to more expensive places. It becomes a lifetime. So, ile increased expenditure, ile increased income, inakuwa eaten up na increased expenditure. Things that you could do without before, now you feel that you can't do without them. Okay? Yeah.
What should I then do when I get a raise? Or let's say there's a project I'm working on, and this gives me it's more like a surplus, right? What should I do with that increased income?
So to backtrack a little bit, although we've talked so much on that topic, but let's go back to the budget kidogo. Okay, your budget should have things like your savings. Okay, your budget should have an emergency fund for you. Umeona? If you take that course, or if you study budgeting in detail, all these things have percentages. I don't want to talk about them right now, lakini utambiwa in your income a certain percentage ikuwe ya rent, a certain percentage ikuwe ya food, a certain percentage entertainment, savings, nini. So personally me wanasema the first thing, increase your savings.
Okay.
Okay, kila mwezi ulikuwa unasema I'm saving 5,000 as an emergency fund. So now that your income has increased, first thing you do, increase that saving account. Okay, you are in a circle somewhere, mimi circle yangu ilikuwa ni so much, now go and save a little more. Okay, these other recurrent expenditures, try as much as possible to put them on hold first. Okay, don't sign that contract today. You used to earn X, now you're earning 2X. Kesho tayari you're calling house agents, I'm looking for a 4-bedroom. You know, ukizingo nikikosa sana nyali chuda thereabout. No, don't do that. Okay, start by increasing your savings first. Okay.
Boy, sasa unajua hapo kwa sababu wewe ni mtaalamu. Hapo kuna mimi mnasema mindset. Hivi vichwa vyetu, na hata kuna kitabu nani anasoma, unaitwaje?
It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Hiyo the power of
subconscious
mind. Tatizo hapa liko huku kwenye kichwa, kwamba mimi lazima nifanye hiki kitu, nishaongezwa 2X. Hapa TV tayari watu naona ni wadogo, inaenda ikishirika. Hii nyumba kwanza ishakuwa ndogo,
zile kuta
zimeingia ndani. Hivyo ni vitu vina happen hapa kwenye
kabisa.
Sasa wewe kwa sababu ni mtaalamu, hii akili mindset unaiprocess vipi isione TV inakuwa ndogo, nyumba kuta zinasonga ndani?
Okay, so I'll say two things. Ya kwanza ni kuwa these for some people these are cultural things, ni mambo ambayo wamelelewa nayo. Okay, I don't want to mention tribes right now, lakini siku hizi naona imepungua, but when we were young growing up, kulikuwa kuna kabila nyingine utaambiwa yule mtu anayepeleka ile gari, that old car, unaona vile viatu vizee anavyovaa, nguo zenyewe ni zile, this is the richest person in this town. Huwezi amini. You know which community I'm talking about. Okay. Yani ni watu ambao walikuwa wanajulikana, even though somebody has so much money, although yes they were overdoing it but somebody has so much money lakini you wouldn't see it. Okay. So if you're brought up in that environment, you used to see your father made sure mnaishi vizuri. Okay, your father made sure school fees imelipwa, hamdaiwi. Okay. But your father never took you to Dubai. Ushaona your father mwenyewe ilikuwa ikifika Christmas nguo mpya ni kupigana. Okay, not that he doesn't have the money, akonazo lakini so if you're brought up in that culture, na wewe pia once you come of age and you're earning, unakumbuka. Okay. Nowadays kuna ile msemo especially wanaume wao tunaambiwa, when you grow up and become a man, you forgive your father for so many of the things ambazo ulikuwa ukimlaumu when you are a kid. Okay. So when you're growing up, you ulikuwa unamlaumu daddy, sisi bana viatu vipya bana, na sasa umefika, it makes sense. Okay. But I'll say the biggest thing that we need to curtail ama control is social media, maze. Social media is the worst. Social media is the worst.
That's now where peer pressure comes in.
That's where the peer pressure comes in. Hey, you see people going to all these places, eating all these foods every weekend. You know, is at one restaurant or another. They have a, what do they call themselves? I'm a foodie. There are so many foodies out there.
Yes, they are.
They want
we
to
keep comparing.
People like to sample the latest restaurants. You know, with like a caption pale. Okay. Eating out is expensive. If you have a budget, eating out at the end of the month adds up. Okay. So umeona kila siku mwenzako, or you're just there with your recipes ulifundisha na mama, best you can do is YouTube, you're trying new things, mara zimeharibika, you know. So if we can control our social media usage, or maybe like personally there was a time I had completely deleted all social media because that pressure was getting to me.
How much of our bad money habits are driven by peer pressure?
I'd say so many of them. I'd say there are some that are visible, many that are not visible. Okay. The ones that are visible, it's like all those things that I've told you about, eating out, you know, traveling,
the phone,
new clothes, the phone. Okay. But let me touch on another bad money habit that you will not see right now until it comes to bite you on your back. Okay. Many people don't have retirement funds. Okay. So you see something like that, si kitu utaingia social media umone Salim pale useme huyu najua hana. No, you don't know. Okay. But so many people, bahati mbaya, do not save for retirement. Okay. People are living for today. YOLO, you only live once. Umeona. So now this usually gets bad some 3 to 5 years before retirement. Okay. Let's assume now retirement age in Kenya is 60 years. Okay. So let's assume many Kenyans will work until the age of 60. Okay. Unapata mtu amefika sasa 55 years, that when it hits this person like, where in the next 5 years I won't have a paycheck at the end of every month.
Iddi, why do you think we're not saving for our future?
Again, I'd say it's a cultural thing. Okay. Sad to say, I want to say Africans, I'll say, since, let's say Kenyans. Kenyans, unfortunately, we don't see that far ahead. Okay. We live for today. We find it very, very hard to plan for the future. Okay. That's why you find some even Kenyan communities that are, let me say, Asian communities in Kenya, they're doing so well in some of these things because their culture is a little different from ours. Okay. There was working in where I work. So one day this lady comes and she wants to change her account name to include her daughter's name. So the daughter has full rights to the account without adding the name. The daughter can come, can withdraw all the money, can close the account, can do everything. But the daughter's name is not. So if it's just Miriam, it's just Miriam. Okay. So this old lady comes and she says, I want to add my daughter's name so that my account reads Miriam and my daughter's name. So I was confronting. I was like, Mommy, haina haja bana. Okay, your daughter has full rights. She was like, no, I know these things. She says, tomorrow I will die. Alafu mtaanza kumsumbua. Okay, you'll start saying, you know, jina lake aliko hapa nini and all those things. So you see, so there are people who've accepted their mortality. Okay, kifo ni ahadi. In the end, we're all going to die. Okay. But some of us don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, so let's live for today. Kesho tomorrow will take care of itself. That's why even those communities that I've mentioned, ikifika mambo succession planning, you rarely hear this from them. Okay, how many Kenyan companies by native Kenyans do you know ambazo zimecollapse? Okay, yeah, because the patriarch or the matriarch yule aliyefound ile kampuni hajaweka yeye amejua mimi nitaishi forever. Umeona then kesho unasikia basi yule mdosi wa ile nani alikufa tangu afe, basi wewe uone ile kampuni the way it's struggling manake kuna mizozo watu. So it's I'll say it's a cultural thing. It's bad culture that we need to wake up from. Okay, kama sasa, like, let me ask you, how many of us here have a will? Okay, since you are the best
I do not have a will.
You do not have a will. Okay? So many people do not have wills. Kwa sababu gani you look at yourself, you're like, ata will naandika nini maybe sasa? What do I own? You know, but whatever little it is that you own, once you die, people are going to fight over it. Okay, growing up majumbani kwetu, we've grown up, how many times have you had maremo alipokufa, people are fighting over clothes? Over clothes. And now sasa shida ni, you'll be of that mindset, I'm not going to write a will because what am I willing? Okay, what am I going to give to my heirs anyway? Then pole pole life happens. Pole pole you get a kid or two. Okay, pole pole you buy a piece of property here. Pole pole you have savings pale, and but mbaya one day on your way to work, car accident, you are no more. Okay, now your half brother is coming to tell your wife, by the way, tuliongea na bro hizi vitu sasa wewe ngojea tutakupanga. Then the wife is maybe marehemu hakuniambia hawa ni watoto wake watakula nini. And then that's when who comes in? The lawyer comes in. Then the lawyer drags the court in case for 2 years. By the time isha pesa zote zimeenda kwa nani? Kwa lawyer. Anakuambia okay sawa basi we've decided pesa zinaenda kwa the wife and the kids, lakini imebaki 20,000.
There's nothing left. That's so sad. I want to take you back to when you're talking about retirement, and when you look at our generation, the different generations, right? Would you say the older generation was more thought more about the future and they saved as compared to the younger generation?
No, I wouldn't say that.
No?
I wouldn't say that. And not to blame them because ni baba zetu na mama zetu na mababu zetu, but we've seen so many cases of people in that older generation who did not have retirement savings. Okay, it's not a big thing in Kenya at retirement, because how many people do you know? You know so many people who've lost parents. How many of those people do you know watakwambia mimi baba bahati mbaya aliaga, lakini bwana hatukujua kuwa he had done this for us. So sisi tulikuwa tumepanic, ameondoka, who look after us. Kumbe mzee bwana had put in place things, so right now we thank God bwana he left us with a little something that can see us
through
for the next several years. Now I will say the reason I'm saying sitawalaumu ni kwa sababu gani? They didn't have the information that we have right now. Okay, na hiyo sasa ndio nasema, I'm not going to blame your father ama your mother for not having a retirement fund, but wewe bwana 30 years from now Salim nikikuona I will blame you. Okay, because what, right now we have the internet. Okay, we have the internet at any time, anywhere. Ukiingia online, you just Google ChatGPT. Just Google ChatGPT. How can I set up a retirement fund in Kenya? Itakupatia details pale, mwisho pale itakuuliza, do you want me to tell you, you know, if you tell me how much money you earn, I can tell you how much you okay, unaambia yes I earn this much money, anakubreakia pale, anakupatia examples, you can use this fund, you can use this fund, these are the interest in it. And the good thing about retirement fund with the long term thinking, kuna kitu tunaita the power of compound interest. Okay, umeamua wewe sasa from this month maybe I'm saving for retirement. Kuanzia leo mshahara unaingia January, starting to for retirement fund. So let's say you're saving umeamua it's 5,000 shillings. Okay, you look for a scheme ambayo itakufaa vizuri. So at the end of that month you'll earn an interest on ile 5,000 yako. So let's assume, this is a very very rough figure, let's assume now after that month ile interest ume earn is 100 shillings. shillings. Okay? So ule mwezi wa pili, you're not earning interest on 5,000 shillings. You're earning interest on 5,100 shillings. Na kumbuka umejiambia kila mwezi you've committed to contributing 5,000. So now it's not 5,100, it's 10,100.
Yeah.
Okay? So now you're earning interest on 10,100. Let's assume ile 10,100 ijewe 10,250. Umeona?
It's compounding.
Yeah. By the time uambiwe basi Salim, this is the last year wana, kwa hivyo we'll organize something big for you at the end of the year, all your years hapa Swahili Pot bana, we really appreciate, lakini retirement imefika. You have no worries, okay? Because you know you're taken care of.
Iddi, how does one determine the right scheme?
Wow, that's a difficult question. Yeah, there's no straightforward answer. Okay?
Because if we're going to talk about our country, right? I know we are taxed, right? And definitely people pay for... Yeah, we are taxed. So
I
will leave it at that.
Hata retirement unalipia.
Yes. So, and you've talked about our parents and saying how many parents left something for their kids, right? There are companies definitely that covered parents in a nice way, that you're able to see when they retired. There was an amount being allocated to them every single month, right? How does one determine the right scheme? Also, with this, and also I want you to think about our country, Kenya, and the fact that you can be in this organization maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, move on to the next, and move on to the next, and move on to the next, and then everybody's not a civil servant.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does one determine the right scheme?
So, so many angles to that question. Eh?
Yeah.
So let me touch on the issue of moving from one company to the next, to the next. You'll always move with your money. You'll always move with your money, yeah. You've moved from Swahili Pot FM today. Kesho you're working for Salim Barisa Limited. Yeah, you call whoever was managing your funds at Swahili Pot FM. You have that option. You can tell them, you know what? I have a new employer. Salim Barisa is now my employer. So, ile pesa yangu, please transfer it to the scheme that is run by. Or alternatively, you can start afresh. Unaweza sema, you know what? Ile kule Swahili Pot, wacha iendelee, okay? Wacha iendelee. Let me now start a new one here.
So we're assuming that the company I work in has actually set up, how do you call it, a space where I'm able to save for retirement.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now
so that's the assumption. Okay?
So yeah, so let's stop assuming. Yes.
So there are also personal retirement, personal pension. Yeah, you don't have to be employed for you to be. You can join one mwenyewe. All right, you can set up a standing order like we said last time. If you're disciplined, every month you send money through M-Pesa, bank deposit. Yeah, it doesn't have to be done through your employer. Many people who are employed with many companies, companies do that, and luckily for some people who work for really big companies, the company does
there's that
chip
provision.
In something for you. Okay, yeah. So personally, you say my retirement fund 5,000. Company says we're adding 10,000 on top of that. Okay, there are those that have that provision. Like in wengi who don't have that, you can simply do it mwenyewe. It doesn't have to be done for you by your employer. Yeah.
Now, sasa ndo anauliza, how do you determine
the right one? That's a difficult question. It boils down to personal choice. Ni kama vile nikikuuliza, how do you determine where to go to hospital with all the hospitals that you have? Okay, how do you determine which bank to
bank with?
Okay, so me personally, I would just like that's the same as my mindset na SACCOs.
Yes.
I usually go for, and I'm not saying this should apply to everybody, it's just mimi na uoga wangu na ushamba wangu, okay, but I usually go for the old and tested. Okay, yeah, I don't want to go to a SACCO or a retirement benefit which started 3 years ago. Manake sijui 3 years from now itakuwa wapi, because the same thing with SACCOs. Okay, there are some SACCOs that have been here since before independence, and they're still going strong. Okay, so there na uhakika with the few years left in life, my money will be safe. But one that started 5 years ago, I'm not saying it's going to collapse, but I'm not sure. Okay, so I usually tell people, don't be attracted na interest rate, and where you're getting the highest interest rate hapo ndipo unapoenda. No. Sometimes those interest rates are just there to Yeah.
But
let's not no,
it's honestly it's a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call, and you're talking about something that we don't think about the future. We don't think about the future. We think about the here and now, and we hardly think about tomorrow. And I don't think we even think about, am I going to be here 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 50 years?
YOLO, bro.
Yeah.
Kesho. Want to take care of yourself.
What's the other bad money habit?
This one is a bit touchy.
Okay.
Lakini our over-reliance on M-Pesa, bro.
Oh.
Man. Everything tunalipa M-Pesa. Everything is M-Pesa.
I'm guilty.
Okay. So
what do you mean over-reliance on M-Pesa?
So in the US they have a saying, if you take care of the cents, the dollars will take care of themselves. Okay?
If you take care of the
cents, the dollars will take care of themselves. Okay. If you take care of the sumni, the shilingi will take care of itself. Sababu gani? So what do I mean? I mean, at the end of the year, I like to say it adds up.
Okay.
What do I mean? Ukitoka hapo ukichukua tuk-tuk, how much? 150. £1.50. Safaricom takes like 7 bob. Ushaona? Umeenda kibanda, umekula. You know how much? 200 M-Pesa. 7 bob. Ushaona? Sijui nini. So at the end of the year, iso 7 bob, iso 15 bob, they add up. Okay? There are places where M-Pesa is really, really important and it's inevitable and it makes sense. Okay? You're not going to take your 1 hour lunch break uende Kenya Power upige line. Okay? You're going to take your lunch break uende bank upige line kulipa rent ama school fees. Those ones make sense. Okay? But why don't you walk around with a little, pocket change? Ya tuk-tuk 150. Umeenda dukani pale sijui total imekuja 350. Pay cash, bro. Lakini saa yote M-Pesa it's ni kidogo. It's like okay, and I'm not comparing Safaricom to conmen at all. Let me just put that on the record. Lakini ni ile, some of the best cons in the world are because watu walikuwa nakoniwa pesa kidogo. Umeona? Wewe leo nikikukoni laki moja, you'll make noise about it, you'll go to the police, you nini, okay? Lakini nikikukoni 1,000, you're like, utakuja umwambie Mariam bara, kuna jamaa basi sijui message 1,000, and then Mariam tells you the same thing, hata wewe pia mimi basi. And you find 500,000 people have been conned. Ni 1,000 it doesn't. So again, not comparing Safaricom to but that's what I can say. Leo shilingi 7, mchana shilingi 15. Nini. So now per day, per week, piga mwaka mzima. That's money you are simply giving to Safaricom. Shika.
For free.
For free. So si kila kitu ni pochi ama ni sand money. No. Sometimes these small expenses. Me personally, I love M-Pesa. Okay? I don't like walking around with cash. At any one time ukinikukuta hivi Salim, unipati na zaidi 2,000.
Mimi sina hata
shilingi. Kila kitu.
And I think when COVID happened, we honestly stopped. We stopped carrying cash. Right? A lot of us just stopped. I didn't know that had a huge impact on our finances.
It does. I mean,
it's ni painful.
Okay, bad financial habits.
Take care of hizo shilingi 7 shilingi 10. At the end of the year it adds up. Walk around with many times back at the M-Pesa lady where I go to withdraw wananilaumu sana. Many times nikienda M-Pesa naenda withdraw 950. Kwanza kinipa 1,000 utasumbuana na mambo ya change. Na many times nikienda withdraw 950 anauliza hauna 50? Sina. Okay? So that's 950 ni ile nimeona njugu pale, acha nina njugu.
So you also want to lose cash.
Nakimbia, yeah, the lose cash for hivyo vitu vidogo because those small expenses ndo hizo zinakucost 7 bob hapa. Sometimes paka friends of mine walikaa wakanipatia lecture because somebody was you need a loan 10,000. Naambia Iddi zaidi 10,000. Naambia sawa, njoo nikupatie ama tuonane nikupatie cash. like why mbona unalazima naambia I'm
Because
simply
you
trying to
don't
save
have it.
you as umezidi sasa. And it's true nilikuwa nimezidi, but the bottom line is hapo those are the small leakages ambazo we don't feel ni kama tunasemaje anauma kivivia it's 7 shillings it's 20 shillings. What's 20 bob? I mean hapa nimefika kimaisha nina shida ya 20 bob
shilingi 73
yeah
by the end of the year.
I like that. As we wrap up, Iddi, today, for somebody who's thinking about, they want to start planning financially. I mean, it's the beginning of the year, right? Yeah. And they want to plan financially. What would you tell them?
So what I tell them is the same thing we talked with Salim here last time I was here.
Yes.
Have many pockets. Have many pockets. I keep on singing that. I keep on preaching that. I will die on that hill. Have many pockets. Kwa sababu gani? Pesa ukizichanganya nazo zitakuchanganya. Okay? Many people have just one bank account. Okay? Yeah, that's where my salary comes in. That's my everything. Ikienda sana, people have 2 bank accounts. A current account where your salary and your expenditures go in, and a savings account. But even though people have these 2 accounts, they have so many things they want to do with this money. Okay? They want to save to buy that bigger TV. They want to save for that holiday. Okay, I was going to talk about shida ni kuwa we're out of time, but I was going to talk about an emergency fund. So you find this one savings account ndio iko na pesa zako za TV, iko na pesa zako za kwenda Zanzibar at the end of the year. Okay, emergency fund yako iko pale pale, okay, for your personal use. Umesema sasa maybe sitaki kwanza retirement benefit kusave 2000, wacha niskume ifike maybe 50k ndo niende, so unairusha pale pale. Okay, and then when you're on that flight back from Zanzibar, that one it's city, wow, hii pesa nimekula huku Stone Town pale pale ndo kulikuwa and I was wondering why am I having so much fun on this holiday? Kumbe, so my advice is people need to have many pockets for many things. Don't mix money, the money is going to mix you. So have, use your M-Pesa, save money in M-Shwari, open 3 bank accounts, save money in Airtel Money, all these things, All
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time today.
You,
we've been speaking to Iddi Ganguma. Of course, he is a banker, and of course, they're looking at bad financial habits we normalize. And I hope you've picked a thing or two, and you're going to start planning, especially for your future, which is retirement.
Retirement.
Yikes. Good morning.